Happy New Year and welcome back to Cypress Sports Weekly. I'm Jeff Russell. Here as always is Mark Slevcove. Hope you all had a great break and a happy New Year. We have a few items to cover today, but first let's get an update on some winter sports and kind of the situation we're in. I mean, Coach Slevcove, we're in a definitely a different situation than we've been in before dealing with COVID. And we got a lot of rescheduling going on, man. It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah, certainly. It's glad to be back, and hopefully we get some things back on schedule now. But boys basketball had to cancel both games last week after their trip to India over the holidays. This week we're hit with girls soccer missing a game, so it's a lot to reschedule. We got a lot of restrictions in terms of the other school. We have to make sure officials are available before we can reschedule any games, and the window is really tight. We have just 4 weeks left in a league season, so hopefully we'll get them all in and we'll get back on track and we won't have any more disruptions. But long week last week.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's been crazy with the rescheduling. Again, the officials are kind of like that. One of the main parts. A lot of times we can find a day, but we can't get officials on that day. And so people just got to be a little bit patient. Hopefully, like you said, we can squeeze all these games in. And hopefully we can get through this period without too many more cancellations. But the new guidelines changing all the time. Indoor sports now with a 500 person maximum. I don't know how often that will come into effect, but obviously that can come into effect with things as well. We're trying to just keep pace with everything and obviously keep our athletes healthy and our coaches healthy and on the courts and fields and try to make the best of it. So let's get into it a little bit. What do you got for an update for us?
Well, over the holiday, we had some great news. We talked all fall about how great some of our athletes were doing and some of our teams were doing. And then the Orange County Register published their all-county teams, and we were well represented in there. Coach Feldman was the Orange County Football Coach of the Year. Our team had a great season, and he was rewarded for that. All-county first team, Matt Morrell. The guy was like a Swiss Army knife. He did everything out there. Catherine Gerbing and Justin Singer in golf and cross country, right? We talked week in, week out about how great their performances were, and they did a great job in CIF, and the Register recognized them. And then a guy who kind of went under the radar, Trevor Monteleone. He kind of stood out in the playoffs and did everything that the coaches knew he was capable of, and he got a nice reward recognition as a second-team all-county performer in football. So some nice news there, some nice recognition for our fall athletes.
Yeah, really cool. Coach Feldman, we talked to him a couple times in the office about it. Really believe this was, not that he doesn't do it, he does a great job every year, but really this year with all the adversity, probably one of his best coaching years and so deserving of that award this year. So congratulations, Coach, and to all the athletes. It was awesome.
Absolutely. Congratulations to everyone. And then we're in our winter sports, right? Boys basketball. Before the break, they defeated Los Alamitos, Cerritos, and Mission Viejo all in 1 week. It was a great week. And then they go to their holiday tournament, go 2-2 in the holiday tournament. The guys come back and we have some positive tests and we have to cancel our league games last week. But now we're getting back to being healthy and within our protocols and resuming our games this week and make up the Crean Lutheran game on Thursday. Girls basketball, they're up to number 19 in the county. They beat Tustin to open up league play and then lost a close one, 55-51 to Crean Lutheran, who's a top 10 team in the county. Boys soccer off to a great start in league, 2-0. Beat Tustin 4-1 last week, and Tustin's been at the top of our league with Valencia the last several years. So that's a nice, strong showing for our boys. And then they go out and beat Crean Lutheran 8-1. So things are trending positively for the boys. We hope they can continue their success this week and in the future weeks in league. Girls soccer opened up with 2 1-0 victories last week before COVID caught up to them this week. So we have to delay our game against Pacifica. And that's always a heated rivalry, always a great game when our girls soccer teams match up with each other, but that's going to be postponed until next week. Girls water polo, they had a long holiday break. They haven't played a game in about 4 weeks, and maybe that turns out good. No games over the holiday break. They had a bye last week in our league, so that gives them an extra week to get back into shape and ready to get after it. Play Garden Grove this week, got a league game this week. They got a Diamond Bar tournament this week, so they'll have lots of games before this week is over. And then wrestling, in the middle of the league season, they had a tournament canceled over the holiday break, so they didn't participate in the Tournament of Champions. Last week, they took fourth on the boys in San Clemente tournament, taking on Kennedy this week. And the girls had 3 finalists at the Ontario tournament last Saturday, so strong showing for our wrestling teams.
Yeah, the soccer game, as a side note, I was really pleased when I talked to the Pacifica head coach regarding our soccer game. And he was really saying the same thing our coach, Nicole, was saying, is that we want to play together, both of us at full strength. And so it was nice that there was no pressure for them to try to figure out a way to play when teams aren't full strength. And they'll schedule that game and get that game in where both teams are full strength, because it does. It really matters. They're always, 2 of the toughest teams in the league, and battle it out. And hopefully, they can have a solid competition that day. So, most important thing, check the schedules, check on our website for the most up-to-date information. Things are changing so rapidly. In order to stay informed, please look at the website. Feel free to email us if you have questions. We're hoping that we can get through all this, continue to have our athletes out on the field and playing in the competitions. And hopefully we'll see you all out there as well when that time comes. All right, well, today we're excited to welcome Coach Lundberg, better known as Jon the Viking, and wrestlers Dylan Stark and Satira Sohal. Thanks for being here today, everybody. Coach Lundberg, arguably one of the most liked coaches and teachers on our campus. What makes you such a lovable big guy?
Well, I tell my students all the time, I go, my greatest attribute is I'm a nice guy. And I also tell them, what's my worst attribute? I'm a nice guy.
It's so true, Coach. And we've gotten to know you so well over the years. You've been our coach since 2004 here as our wrestling coach. And you're right. You've been a nice guy day in and day out. And I think all the teachers and all your athletes over the years have loved you for that. Over those years, how has your approach to coaching changed?
I started out the same way I am now. I know that kids got to get in shape. I know they got to learn the moves. I know that they got to train really hard for a while, and then you got to kind of coast, because at the end of the season, when we do the postseason, if you train too hard, you're kind of going to be worthless, because you're going to be overtrained. So I've kind of stuck to the same training method throughout the whole time.
Coach, we've really developed a strong girls program, and the growth of our girls program has really been tremendous. How has that positively impacted, or been a positive impact on our campus and just in the wrestling community as a whole?
Well, girls wrestling as a whole has just taken off in California. We've had an individual state tournament for, I think 10 or more years now. And we started with 1 or 2 girls a long time ago. And we were up to like 25 girls before the pandemic. And now we're slowly building back. We've got some younger girls getting interested in it. And I think it's awesome. Our girls are really close, and we got a couple of young ones that are recruiting other young ones, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. And I have my girls' head coach is Darren Norse, and he does a tremendous job with them.
Yeah, you've done a great job building our programs, boys and girls. 4 league championships for the boys in the Empire League, got a couple for the girls program, and certainly a number of individual wrestlers that have gone on deep into the CIF championships and the Masters meets. Is there any one moment that stands out for you over the course of your time at Cypress. And can we call ourselves champs this year?
Well, not quite yet. We have Kennedy this week, and it shouldn't be, that tough of a match for us. But then we go to Valencia, and they're always tough. So I'm not going to say we are favored to be the league champs, but I can't guarantee anything with this bug going around. But the one moment was a couple years ago. We beat Calvary Chapel and El Medina and those two, and Loera, all in the same year. And as I was going up the ranks in Orange County Wrestling, those were teams that were almost unbeatable for many years. And we beat them all in 1 year. I was really happy. I said, I could retire now.
That's awesome, Coach. Well, you've had some success as a coach, but from what we hear, you were quite the wrestler back in the day. You're a member of the New London and University of Augustana. Is that how you say that?
Augustana, yeah.
Augustana Hall of Fame, and wrestled at 167 pounder. Come on now, I find that hard to believe. That can't be true. 167, Coach?
I wrestled 167. I wrestled 158 my freshman year, and 67 the next 3 years.
Wow. You even have a name. Do the players know that you have a move named after you called the Lumbergo?
I still teach it.
Nice.
I still teach it.
Well, in high school, you were a state wrestling champ in 78. You had a career record of 115 and 29 with 69 pins. You got 16 letters in 4 sports. Prestigious winner of, the Mount Olivet Lutheran Athlete of the Year, national champion wrestler, junior world Greco and Pan Am champion. In college, 106 and 19 record. Sophomore year, you won the 167-pound NCAA Division II National Championship. You have all these things, ranked 5th nationally, regardless of the division. In 1986, you pinned all of your opponents to win the Pan American Wrestling Championships, a 5-time freestyle All-American. You were twice and a finalist, I think, for the Olympics. Didn't quite make it, but made the world team alternate. Coach, you have a lot of accomplishments. But what I find most interesting with all of that is you being 5/8 Swede and I think 3/8 Norse, and considering yourself a Viking. What I want to know is, have you built any ships? Because I heard that you maybe built a Billings 1/25th scale or Osberg ship. Is that some hidden talent? Do you build ships? We have a hidden talent we don't know about?
I do make models, yes. 1/25th scale. I'd like to know.
Are you any good at it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting close to finishing one ship, but I'll send you a picture when I'm done.
Do we have the rowers and everything on it too?
I'm making those guys too.
All right.
They're about this big.
That's an impressive resume, Coach. Our athletes are pretty lucky to learn from you and get coached by you in the sport of wrestling. So congrats on all your success, and we look forward to you guys finishing really strong this year. Let's welcome in our wrestlers. Satira, you're a team captain this year. You have an overall record of 46-6. What makes you so good out there on the mat?
My coach. I would not be wrestling without my coaches. I probably would have stopped a while ago.
Satira, is there something that you would consider a strength of yours when you're wrestling on the mat?
When I'm wrestling, I really like to adapt to the situations that I am, because I don't really have like a set strategy. I just do whatever.
Very cool. You finished second in CIF 6 at the Masters, won a few tournaments in the last years. What are your goals for this season?
This season is to make it through league, CIF, Masters, and place at state, hopefully, if they have it.
Well, you're off to a good start. You're 14-2 this year alone as a junior. What are your future plans? And Does it include wrestling?
There's a pathway that I was looking at, possibly wrestling in college.
Any specific schools in mind?
Not really. I've gotten a couple offers already, but I'm not too sure if I want to wrestle in college.
Well, cool. Well, Dylan also lots of success. Dylan, wrestling is really big back east. Not necessarily so much in California, although it's definitely getting a lot more attention, a lot bigger than it has been. So how did you get into wrestling originally?
Well, my freshman year, I actually wanted to do football, but I was weighing about 94 pounds, and I was like, I'll get run over. So I didn't think I could do it. And I remember I had a friend who went to a different school who was into wrestling. He was a grade above me. He told me I should try it because there's like weight classes, so everything's fair. You're not going to face some guy that's much bigger than you. So I tried it, and I loved it.
It's a great way to get involved. There's a spot for everybody in wrestling, isn't there? This year you're off to a 12-0 start and career record of 63-24, ranked 26 in the state. What's the weight class you're in right now?
115.
115. Okay. What things do you need to improve on and get better at in that ranking and to make a run at CIF?
Probably overall just conditioning, because when you face the tougher guys, pinning them and like beating them quick is usually not an option. You usually go toe to toe all 6 minutes all the way through. And when you're in that last 1 minute of the match, it's whoever has more heart and just more conditioning can pull out and like score like 1 or 2 more points and win the match.
Well, being a senior and having all that success, now looking back, do you have a favorite wrestling memory of all your wrestling memories?
Not really. I mean, whenever I wrestle, like all my memories of wrestling, I love all of them.
Well, hopefully we can make a huge memory this year in CIF and Masters and all that. Let's make something that you remember from here on out. All right. Well, we have some rapid fire questions for both of you guys. So I'm going to ask them. Don't think too much about them. They're just kind of for fun, just kind of real quick things for you guys to answer. Are you both ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite post weigh-in food?
A burger from In-N-Out.
A bagel.
Solid. Have you ever had to drop weight just minutes before you weigh in?
Definitely, yes.
No.
What's your favorite wrestling move?
High C. It's a takedown.
Single leg, also a takedown.
Coach Lundberg, no Lumbergo in that one? Come on. All right, what would be your, in baseball they have the walk-up song. What would be your walk-up song if we did that for a match? You're walking out. What's the song you're walking out to?
Till I Collapse by Eminem.
Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Nice. Do you have any pre-match rituals or superstitions?
I always wear fuzzy socks, and I listen to music.
I just listen to music. That's really it.
Can you believe Coach Lundberg used to wrestle at 167?
No.
I can.
What's a good word to describe you individually as a wrestler?
Quiet.
Hardworking.
And then what's the best word to describe Coach?
Awesome.
Amazing.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thanks to Coach Lundberg, Satira, Dylan. It was great having you guys. We will be back next week with more athletes, more coach interviews. Don't forget to check online for current schedules. Things are changing constantly. We're rescheduling games all the time, and want to make sure that you guys are able to get out and see all the action. So please make sure and check those. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.